Welcome back. We are outside. It's a little gloomy out, but I wanted to switch up the scenery a little bit, and it's my day off, so I wanted to get outside for a little bit, get some light sunlight. I just finished this book, which is The Ghost Next Door, and it's really good, and I would give this maybe 5 out of 5. It's right there between 4 and 5, so maybe like 4.5 out of 5 is what I would give this. And then here's the back, and I'm gonna go ahead and do something a little bit different this time. I'm gonna read you the back, because I hadn't done that in my other reviews, and I don't know why. But it's a learning process. I'm learning, and we're gonna do it. So, it says, Hannah's neighborhood has just gotten a little weird ever since the new boy moved in next door. But when did he move in? Wasn't the house empty when Hannah went to sleep the night before? Why does it still look so deserted? She's not getting any answers from her new neighbor. He just keeps disappearing in the oddest ways. And he's really pale. Is Hannah being haunted by the ghost next door? And I love the older Goosebumps book, how they actually have goosebumps. It's like textured. So let me bring you a little bit closer so my neighbors don't think I'm nuts. I don't know, I just feel like weird being watched. Oh my goodness, and the birds are going crazy. This book starts out with Hannah having this nightmare that her house catches on fire and is actually really, what's the right word? Like, it literally does give you goosebumps. Like, just her fear and stuff that she's having, watching her room go up in flames, and it's very descriptive. It was very haunting almost. I think it's like a fear that we've all had as a kid and even as an adult, so it really hit home for me. So then she gets a new neighbor that lives next door, and every clue leads you to believe that he's a ghost. Like, this, like the weirdest thing, like his mom doesn't talk, and when Hannah knocks on the door, like his mom's sitting there just ignoring her, like she can't see her, like weird stuff like that, right? But like Stein's style, I had a hunch from the very beginning. I wondered if Hannah actually died in the fire and that she was the ghost next door. And the end of the book does reveal that the ghost next door is actually Hannah. So the whole time you're thinking it's her neighbor, and it's not. She is the ghost next door. Her whole entire family died in the fire. It's super tragic. So how the book ends is that they actually died in the fire about 5 years ago. And the reason she had all of a sudden come back was the boy next door, the one that she thought was a ghost, was actually hanging out with kind of the wrong crowd of boys. And they started a fire, and he was going to get trapped and die. So she kind of comes back as a ghost to save him. Essentially, that's kind of what I was getting the vibe from. Throughout the book, she keeps seeing essentially a Grim Reaper. He's a cloaked man where she can't really see his face, but she can see 2 red eyes and a grin sometimes. He lurks in the shadows, and if sunlight touches him, or even any kind of light, like a car driving by, the headlights or whatever, that he disappears. So you kind of get these Grim Reaper vibes the whole book. And then the very end, when she does go in to save the boy who's dying from a fire, you come to find out that that's basically exactly what it is. It's like a Grim Reaper. And he's like, no, it's his time to die. You know, it's too late. He's already dead. There's no point to save him. And he kind of like stands in the way of Hannah. And she pushes through him, and she goes and she saves the boy. And as the book ends with the boy being in the hospital, and he's recovering, and Hannah is standing outside her house, but it doesn't look like her house. And the realtors are showing it, and they're talking about how tragic it was, the family that died 5 years ago, and how much renovations they've had to do, and that the house has like sat empty ever since. And then Hannah like realizes that she's dead. Her family appears, and her mom and dad, and they're like, it's time to come back, Hannah. It's time to come back. and she reluctantly goes with her family because the whole like earthside, earthbound world is starting to slowly fade. So she goes back with her family, and it's super dark, super grim. It is a very good read. Like I said, the whole book kind of points you to like her neighbors are ghosts, but it's actually her and her family are ghosts. And it all makes sense. And like once you finish the book, you're like, okay, all those little things that make sense now. Because one of the things that she talked a lot about in the book, Hannah did, was that it was summer break. None of her friends were around to play. None of them would write her. None of them would call her. And this endless feeling of sadness. And like the days just go on and never end. And Hannah talks about this as like the longest summer break of her life. And it just seems like such endless days. And you realize at the end that they're endless because she's haunted by them, basically. Like, she died during summer break, and so it just everyone else has moved forward but her. And she is stuck. So by helping that boy and saving his life, it kind of unstucks her. And she's able to go join her family on the other side. It's a really good book. Especially if you're into like spooky, creepy stuff. This definitely will give you the chills, and it's not for the lighthearted because it is so tragic and just so sad as far as like stirring up a lot of emotions of just the fact that she was so young and how scary fires can happen and how easily they can happen and how fast. So it is definitely a good read. I definitely recommend this. It is definitely dark, but it is such a good, and I was like too, like for him, this is like pretty, it doesn't get religious. I will say that as a warning. There is no like religious stuff in here. There's no, it kind of leaves it up to you determining how you want to interpret it. And that's what I love so much about Stein's books, is he keeps his politics and religion out of it and kind of lets you take it how you will. So if you have read this, please comment down below what you would give it. I would give it a 4.5 out of 5, 5 out of 5 for sure. It's definitely the top tier. Very good of the whole series. I really like this one. So let me know down below what you would rate this, and if you like this style book review, I'm going to link down here 2 videos. One's going to be a book review and one will be an unboxing. And like always, thanks for watching.